Good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Marie Hoying here, and tonight we have a special guest with us. This is my little niece, JJ. JJ, can you say hi?
Hi.
So tonight we're going to be talking about the number one reason why parents bring their infants and their kids to the pediatrician. And about 85% of infants, by the time they're a year old, they have this issue going on.
This is the last one.
Does anyone know what this might be? Does anyone have any guesses? You do? It is actually ear infections. Ear infections is the number one reason why parents bring their infants and their kids to the pediatrician. Ear infections, it's a draining issue. It's a plumbing problem. And so there's this little muscle in the ear that allows for milking of the fluid of the ear tube to drain. But what can happen is if there's pinching or irritation in that upper part of the neck by the base of the skull, that can actually cause that fluid to not be able to drain properly through the ear. And so what can happen is that fluid, it gets built up into that ear. And High five. We're getting a little distracted here, but when that fluid doesn't drain, when the fluid doesn't drain, you can do a high five. Okay, and then I gotta get back to talking. Okay, good job. Okay, so when that fluid, when it doesn't drain, then it gets pulled into that ear and it sits in that ear. And so these infants, as they're growing, what happens? They start to get teeth within the first year of life usually. And with teeth, there comes extra mucus, extra saliva, and that's extra fluid. But the extra fluid, that's not the issue because those are all natural processes. The problem with ear infections, it's not extra fluid. The problem is that it's a draining issue. It isn't able to drain properly. And so again, if you think about it, if you have water that sits in the back of your yard, you wanna get down? I'm gonna finish up, okay? If you have water sitting in the back of the yard, what happens? You tend to get bugs, right? So you get bugs in the back of your yard, and the same thing goes with ear infections. What happens with ear infections is that there's fluid that builds up in the ear, and when that fluid builds up and it doesn't drain properly, that's when it's a breeding ground for these viral infections, these bacterial infections to happen. And so that's why then you're a lot of times going to take your infant or child to the pediatrician, and they'll give you maybe an antibiotic. And that tends to help for a little bit. A lot of times people notice, yeah, they're probably feeling a little bit better, but then, give me just a second. But then, a lot of times the next few days or maybe in a week or two, they get another ear infection. And it's because, again, it's not really fixing the true cause. It's that fluid, it's still sitting in that ear. It's still pooling in that ear. And so another bug comes in, and that's why they tend to get another ear infection within a few days or within a week or two again. And so what we do is I look to make sure that there are no misalignments in that upper part of the neck. And if there is, we provide a very gentle, specific chiropractic adjustment that is literally no more than the pressure you would put to check the ripeness of a tomato on these infants, to allow those ears to drain properly and to allow their body to function how it should. And so that's the basis of it. It's very simple, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on what and why ear infections happen and why they tend to occur and reoccur in these infants and kids. So I'm here as a resource. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Feel free to email us, send us a message on Facebook. Like us on Facebook. We're always posting different things, different informational topics. So we hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful evening.